All right, Gasparino is back, and the reason he is, we had the president's joint news conference with the leader of Sweden coming up from the White House. One of the reports that was out there today is that Gary Cohn, the president's top economic advisor, has really been pushing back on tariffs. Maybe he's organizing some sort of a meeting with companies that might get hurt with tariffs. It's led to speculation, Charlie, that maybe, Bloomberg had a story about this, that maybe if the tariffs go through, Cohn is out. What are you hearing?
Bloomberg said people close to Trump say he believes Gary's going to leave if the tariffs go through. And he obviously doesn't care that much, because if you say, no, he's going to leave, he's going to leave.
Whatever, right.
I think Politico had that if the tariffs go through, he's definitely out.
The president had tweeted, I may still have to make some changes. He was talking about his staff this morning.
I'm hearing kind of the opposite in this sense. That doesn't mean he won't leave, if he's neutered or whatever, if Trump hates him. But, Gary Cohn feels that he's one of these sort of voices of reason inside a crazy White House, that he's helping prevent the Trump White House, at least from an economic standpoint, from going into the abyss of pure protectionism and pure insanity.
Can he do, forget the insanity, but the protectionism, can he actually, can he make progress in preventing that? It seems like some people today are betting that maybe he can. Maybe we get a little bit.
Yeah, and the market is making that bet all day. Because
they can't figure it out. But
listen, I think if Gary Cohn left tomorrow, the markets would have an issue, okay? Because that would...
He's that important to the market. We'd be down on Gary.
I think, a guy like him, for major investors, they look at a guy that worked at Goldman Sachs. He's got a really good record on Wall Street. Say what you want as politics. I say all sorts of stuff about him. He's got kind of a lousy demeanor too. He's a really rough guy.
By the way, pots and kettles and demeanors.
Yeah, okay.
That's enough. We don't even have time. We have 3 minutes left.
Thank you for bringing your own down. But in any event, that said, he's a formidable guy. Yeah. And I think that would be an issue if he left. If his voice wasn't there, at least for the markets. And now, is it the only overriding issue? No, corporate profits and stuff like that.
No, of course.
But I think having a coherent economic policy in the White House is important. I hear, just so you know, that he's not running out the door by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, it's like a parlor game. We had reports per week after Charlottesville, after taxes.
Let's be real clear here. Gary Cohn is an extremely ambitious guy, right? He wanted to run Goldman Sachs. That's not going to happen. That's one of the reasons why he left. And he got a big job in Washington, where he's in the middle of shaping fiscal policy at a high level.
Right.
Right? If he can leave that job and go start a hedge fund. Yeah. And he doesn't need the money. Take it from me.
Well, we know.
So why would you leave that job unless Trump goes totally bonkers on trade and does another Charlottesville speech?
Not Charlottesville, but on the trade issue.
If he does crazy stuff, you might see him leave. But right now, there's no reason.
If his argument is falling on deaf ears, if he's not making progress with that argument.
Suppose Trump just stops at the tariffs and doesn't touch NAFTA. Well, Gary Cohn sits there and
he sees that as a win, Cohn.
I talked him off the ledge.
Right.
He did some tariffs. Reagan did some tariffs, and it's not the end of the world. What the markets are worried about is not just our tariffs, few tariffs. They're worried about,
of course, what's next?
Trade war, and do we renegotiate NAFTA?
Okay, so one of the reasons he might stay, or one of the arguments
or do we get out of NAFTA?
No, I know, but one of the arguments for him staying, and like Peter Navarro, who is obviously his rival in the White House, has been talking about this already. The next big trade action is directly related to China. They have to deal with China's intellectual property. There have been some whisper numbers out there that they may be really aggressive on that, so maybe Cohn wants to be involved in that too.
They should be aggressive on that. See, that's really where Trump's on strongest grounds on trade, because China does steal our intellectual property.
Now that's targeted.
That is different than steel and aluminum imports, tariffs, which actually hurt our workers more than it helps our workers.
Yeah.
It saves a sliver of the economy, and it hurts a bigger part of the economy. And Cohn is going to actually bring, from what I understand, he's bringing some, Brian Schwartz, my producer, did some reporting on this. He's bringing some people in, some executives in, chief executives, to show the impact.
Maybe,
on that. Well, I heard
it could be going to happen. That meeting's been on and off. We don't know what.